What's greater? Spiritual, lofty, meditated intent, motivated by the love and awe of God, or a simple act, an action. Naturally, we would feel the bond and the closeness with the divine is when we are doing something lofty and divine, divinely inspired, like meditative, spiritual, you know, high, definitely would be what we would feel as opposed to a physical act that may not be so imbued with such meaning. Welcome to Tanya Today. I'm Rabbi Ronnie Klein, coming to you from Chabad Zichron Kedeshim in Montreal, Canada, where it's a privilege and a pleasure to share with you the Tanya. We're continuing in the fourth essay. Two weeks today, we will finish the fifth book, all the books of Tanya. 2 weeks today. Pretty amazing. Pretty amazing. What a journey. It's not live on Facebook Chabad. Ooh, thank you for telling me that. Give me a moment, folks. I don't know why that is. It should be. It says, it shows here that it, can you double check? It shows here that it's working. Can anybody else tell me? Okay, it's live. All right. Was it only live now? Or was it live the whole time? Vicky, was live the whole time? Sometimes you need to refresh the page. Got it. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, so quite remarkable. So we spoke. Excuse me. By the way, I'm getting better. A little under the weather, and the weather's getting colder. Now we're truly in winter mode. We actually had some snowfall, not dusting, nothing, nothing real, nothing real, at least for our neck of the woods. But I'm sure it'll come. So Abraham said, "I'm dust and ashes." I teach a words of humility, dust and ashes before God. And more specifically, dust and ashes, just like a tree, when you burn it, it's dust and ashes, right? So even though they're of the same core essence, but they're, like when you see the ashes of the tree, the fruit-bearing tree, in comparison, it's incomparable. So even more so is God's kindness and Abraham's kindness. He saw it as it's like dust and ashes compared to God, even though he's the embodiment of divine kindness. That's he was unique. And his cleaving to God to be kind To be kind is only to, not to the essence of God. Mm. So our cleaving to God, to be kind, which is a wonderful thing. Of course, we should be, no question, right? Is is wonderful, but it's not touching the essence of God. What touches the essence of God? What touches the essence of God? It's a mitzvah. These are the works of God. Unlike even our own kindness that we emulate God, right? What does that mean? Well, what is it about the performance of doing the mitzvah? Just do it. Do the mitzvah. Just do it, right? There's a great descent of the vessels of Atzilus and the Bria, Yitzir Asiya, and the very divine nature as it comes down. Because we're talking about when you do a mitzvah, you're doing something in a physical world, right? So, for example, an esrog, the citron fruit that we shake and do the mitzvah with three other kinds, right? With the lulav, hadassim, and arabais, and the holiday of Sukkot. That we just celebrated um, under 2 months ago, right? So when you take in the holiday that esrog, right? What are you taking? It's taking something that God has, his divine attributes, his kindness, his very kindness, right? His internal attributes are vested, excuse me, in, or vested meaning the vitality. That's what we mean vested, right? The light of, the vitality, the energy, if you, whatever term you want to use, is clothed in it, in that physical thing. By contrast, a person using their intellect to try to, and through their intellect to generate a love and awe of God, being that our soul is in a body, the most that we can touch of God, meaning to grasp of God, to have an awareness, to apprehend, is external. The hind part, like God says to Moses, you're going to only see my hind part, right? We're not capable whatsoever of grasping the essence of the divine creator. So, and without comprehension, there's no real investiture in grasping or cleaving. So we're not really able to cleave through our, bringing into our heart a love and awe of God, that we truly cleave to his divine attributes, the core essence of them. Array of them, yes. However, the esrog itself, and this is just by way of example, the tefillin is similar. Every mitzvah, right? The life that's drawn into it is the very essence of what we call the vessels of Malchus of Zoh in Atzilus, which is a truly divine state of being. That's the energy, that's the life force that is in that esrog, right? Very deep, Kabbalistic idea over here that goes through the vestiture of the vessels. There's vessels and lights, and the vessel, as it comes down, it becomes the neshama of the neshama light in the worlds of Bria, Yitzir, and Asiya, so it remains divine, and that becomes a life force that's closed within this esrog on Sukkot. Esrog today, if you buy an esrog today, it's not the same thing. It's not vitalized and not enclosed in it the essence of God, right? So now, how about your intention about the esrog? How about your awareness of the esrog, the mitzvah of the esrog, right? Uh, sorry, your awareness that would bring you to a intent in doing the mitzvah. That only touches the external part of the divine and not the essence of the divine. However, when you study the actual laws about esrog or the mystical dimension of it, right, the mystical dimension of it, then you are bound up because you're learning about it. You're not having intent towards it. Difference. In other words, when you learn the laws, the holiday comes, we're supposed to learn the laws of the holiday, right? You learn those laws, you're touching the divine, right? The essence of the divine. Right now, we're doing that in our learning, touching the essence of the divine. But if I were to then take that and just meditate on it to produce a feeling of connection to God that would bring me to act kindly. So I'm cleaving to God's ways, but it's his ways, it's not him. Because the act of kindness, unless it's a mitzvah of God, and it's, your kindness, that you're motivated by your feelings of connection. Again, it's quite a lofty thing, but you're not connected to the core essence of God himself. Again, because in the object of the mitzvah, the vitality that's there in that object it's been given life during the holiday of Sukkot, when it's a mitzvah to use the lulav and esrog and to shake them, make a blessing and shake them, the connection you're making because of the life force that's in there by the devolvement from the essence of God, Ein Sof, through the divine attributes of God in Atzilus, the world of emanation, not a world of creation. Then in that world, it is now, it is vested the essence of God, the infinite of God, in the Malchus of Atzilus, the royalty, the kingship of Atzilus, sovereignty of Atzilus. That in turn now devolves into Bria, Yitzir, Asiya, but it never loses its divinity. That's the important thing over here. And therefore, this physical object, that's how we have to treat it with respect, because it is a holy object, because the vitality is holy. So through now doing the act of the mitzvah with it, what happens? What happens? You're bound up with the core essence of God. When you take that and you think about it, and it develops a feeling towards God, which is great, right? But in the end, it's our feelings. So it's our thing, if you will. Excuse me. So it's our thing. Yes, it's about God, so it's a good thing. Not to make a mistake here, right? It's a good thing. But now it's not about, that's my intent. So since my intent is of a soul and a body, the most I can apprehend in that and connect to that is to not the essence of God, but to, so to speak, the externality, the fact of God, the mitzias, the being of God, rather than the core essence. Because in the end, the mitzvah is something that God gives. it's of him. It's his, what he wants, right? Even though I'm feeling a love towards God and towards this mitzvah that I'm doing, which is great, which is great. Not to say we shouldn't have this, because we're going to learn more about that. On the contrary, and we'll see as everything in Torah is paradoxical. What does it mean? It's paradoxical. All truths are found in a paradox. So we'll see. Because we're going to play the other side too, right? So not so, but for now, to appreciate the idea that the love and awe that I have of God is in my soul in a body, that the most I can capture of the divine is not the core essence of the divine, but that there is a divine, the fact of it, not the core essence. Let me give you, yeah, uh, that's good. Okay, Kunya, can we say that we receive light from where our intent originates? If it originates in Atzilus, then we receive from Atzilus. Yeah, that's if you have a lofty soul of like a righteous person, then you could, yes. What's greater, a mitzvah or Torah study? Ah, great question. We're going to go more into that. I'm not going to answer it today because that will come, that will be soon. All right, Alice, Livsha. All right. I'm Rabbi Ronnie Fine, coming to you from Chabad Zech in Montreal, Canada. It's a privilege and a pleasure to share with you the Tanya. Thank you.